Scorpio, we are here to do your general and love read. Those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. Those of you who are returning, thank you guys. Welcome back. Now, you do get more videos this month, providing I can keep it organised. I am moving soon, so I'm trying to get these done so that I can have the bookings come through as normal and continue on. Now, if you are wanting to make an emergency booking, the link is below, as well as there's an 8-hour window. So if you're wanting to book them on the day, you can go through to the website and check the availability. Now, as I said, I have pulled the cards ahead of time, but I'm going to pull clarifiers from the Abraham Hicks deck. Now, we're covering your general energy of what's coming through, what subject matters may be quite heavy, your finances, as in your money and anything you're working on, as well as family and then love. Now, your crowning energy you've got coming through, it's interesting because I'm actually recording this as of the Scorpion full moon, which I thought, how ironic. So forgive me for the white noise in the background. Now, your crowning energy is there can be a judgment that you're wanting to be making in your life. And I feel this is in relation to instability. Now, again, this can be connected to your family, especially with the Scorpion energy. It can be where you're feeling super intuitive. Now, yes, the lag-on effect moving into June will be there, so that frequency will still be there for the full moon. But again, I have experienced this energy where when we're going through that transition, it can be there for a while, and we are in the retrograde at the moment. There is a lot of transitions where we are going into moon energy when it does come to Cancer moon. So although, how do I put it? There is this element where we are tuning into our childhood wounds with the moon frequency, moving from Scorpio into Cancer. Now, with that frequency and the nodes being in Cancer, there is this overall energy moving into eclipse season that is cycling out. So especially through the retrograde, you know, we're looking at where we can actually grow things, where we can change things, but there's a basis, a foundational related issue that's imbalanced. You can be experiencing lower back pains, but I'm also seeing third eye activation. You're really tuning into what to do from here, and it has really fatigued you quite a bit. You're also trying to get the balance when it does come to a home environment, a family related dynamic, your work, and everyone wanting a piece of you, but at the same time, very, very fast-paced movement. I do feel it's slowed down, but it's almost like, what now? Now, you've got this Abraham Hicks card, and it's number 5, which is all about change, but it's in reverse. My relationships are supposed to feel good. You're definitely seeing where the interconnections of dynamics are problematic. It doesn't mean that they're not good. It's just more coming through in an energy source where you have this lack of investment to certain things because you've seen the shadow aspect of it. So now with that shadow, you can integrate it into how to bring light into those subject areas and how to bring that balance. Now, in the past, you may have been assessing any contracts, marriages, connections, anywhere you were directly employed, you know, how you directly feel about that with your children, your kin, how you feel about that. There was a lot of shadow work that was going on, and that residue frequency can still be coming through. Again, as I mentioned, you're really in your higher third eye crown chakra where you're tuning into things. So don't be surprised if you're getting sinus, headaches, you know, your eyes are feeling a bit off, because again, even tuning into your energy psychically, I am tuning into that frequency. If you're stuck, these are the energies you're going to feel. If you've gained the clarity through the transit, you are going to find that you have the higher knowing of it, but it's what to do from here and how to bring the balance to the situation. Yeah, really in the future, you're wanting to balance things out. So I do feel you're going to be making firm decisions. You know, be it's in your ball court or it's not, I do feel regardless there is going to be a decision made as to how to balance this situation. I am feeling a cycle is changing. Now, with the past position, the card was asking you to go through a transformative state. That's within the relationship. And it can be that some sense inside your own personal connections and relationships, your needs changed. It wasn't necessarily that by them changing or the direct environments changing that it was going to make it better. It was the acknowledgement that in fact you had changed and how you can reintegrate that into the given situation. There was a past tense situation where others were requiring you to be different, therefore potentially you were hoping some things would be given back in the same rapport and respect. Although I feel you're having this epiphany moment that you in fact have changed, and so therefore your needs have changed, but you have to assess whether these scenarios and situations can come into balance and you can integrate them into the new version of you in the past tense position. So clarity coming through with that. Now with your intuition and the activation I was speaking of with your third eye, you have this card in reverse, which again is a change. By my attention to things, I am making choices. It's almost like your head and your heart decision has been put on pause because you're intuitively thinking about it, but it can be where you're feeling some sense of lack of power. I'm going to pull a chakra card in that area. Now, there may be areas where you're feeling external to you, people have changed around you, but at the same time, I am feeling as though it's you who's really changed. It could be that you don't feel as passionate about certain situations, although, you know, you're coming into your own energy and you're starting to assess with the passions where you're going to place that energy into. And you're really heading towards a choice with what to bring together and what to connect to and commit to. And again, this is in the general section, so this can be your employment. It'll be the heaviest thought process in your mind that this correlates with. But I am picking that it is various areas of your life, not just one. It can very heavily be connected to a relationship and a family dynamic, which is really oozing that energy. But again, it can be even your contracts, your pairs, the people you mix with. Tactilely, it feels you aren't connecting in with these environments the same as once you did. Okay, it just feels that something has done a complete 360. The laws of attraction assemble happy relationships. So it's almost picking that energy of, you know, what do you want to infinitely put your energy into? And I do feel with it breaking down to an 8, I do really feel as though, you know, in that infinite potential, you're looking forward, but, you know, at the back of your mind, you're tuning into various aspects of your journey. And it can be between two energies, two individuals. And really looking forward to the rainbow, you know, looking forward and trying to see it in the here and now for what it stands. And I feel you're at a crossroad and the precipice of making a major choice. But it's almost like she's looking at going backwards, but she feels there's no choice because the horse is charging forward. So energetically, I feel external to you. Even if you were to rest on your laurels and, you know, get back into your comfort zone, I feel because you've evolved and changed, you know, your energy is like a walk and you're physically moving forward. I just don't feel energetically you're able to go back over old ground. This can be a purge, but it's a transformation. You've really, really changed a lot. But you do have a choice. You can energetically go back to a way of being, but it may be something that you're already doing right now and that feels no longer resonating. So whatever this is in a sense of a transformation, it can be frightening going into it, but I feel you've energetically moved so far forward, there's almost this inability to go backwards. It just would not feel environmentally sane for you physically. Okay, anything you're working on right now, you might be being really critical towards yourself. This can be within your employment, or it can be in an energy sense of the goals that you're directly working towards. It doesn't have to be employment. Now, you are being very strict with yourself. What is helping you in that domain and environment is the Seven of Swords. You know, anything that is looking imbalanced, I do feel there's a helping hand coming. And I do feel as though there's this energy of some of your dreams. You sort of believe that the right door will open at the correct time. You also feel in your third eye with this psychic energy coming through, which I do feel right now your intuition's on fire. You're working through the matrix of your mind and the scenarios and painting a picture of all these choices. to work through the matrix to find the best resolution. This is, again, what is blocking you is you know how this is going to go. So you may already have run over this energy. And like I said, with this choice card, it feels like, yes, you do have a choice, but you know the outcome. And therefore, it's almost like because you're in your higher consciousness, you can't go back to an old way of being. So it's like an oxymoron. It's like, I intuitively know, but this is your blocking card. This is the energy here that's blocking you on anything you're working on, is the fact that in your higher consciousness, potentially you're not listening to it, or potentially some of those choices are physically out of your hands. And I'm going to pull a clarifier on that because it's in the blocked position. I do feel you're going to be discussing these things. And it might be that you're needing clarity outside of yourself. It might be directly from an employer, an employee, a partner, a group dynamic, anything in a sense of a project, a business that you're working on. Now, although your instincts are working with you, I do feel as though if you're only following that, but you're not following the actual map of things, it could be like the Fool card where you're jumping in the deep end. You also could be having a lot of throat chakra energy coming through where you're really coming into your own frequency. And again, we can have a lot of childhood wounds coming up around this time. What will end the cycle is actually having that physical communication. So I do feel for a lot of you, whatever you're working on, you're hoping to get an offer out of left field. This could be for a job, for upskill, for education. But I do feel, although you're in your third eye about it, I do feel the communication is the key. Now, it's either coming from another individual or directly from you. You're meditating upon how this is going to come, but the clarity is it's going to come by word of mouth or through email, but I do feel you need to keep on it. So if you're waiting for a letter to come through from an employer of a letter of acceptance, check your emails, double check your paperwork, follow it up. At the same time, if this is a separate energy where it's a person you're directly thinking on and you're wondering whether to put the work in the direct dynamic, I do really feel as though your third eye is causing part of the problem. You already have received the download, but you haven't reacted towards it, and that's what's blocking you at the moment, just remaining in the third eye energy. Financially speaking, and I do feel a lot of this, for some reason I'm feeling it is coming down to finances. Now, in your financial area, something is changing. And yes, whatever road you are choosing to walk down, it is going to be a change for the better. Sometimes we do delay changing things because we directly feel, okay, well, I paint the picture on this area if I invest in this, if I work on this, and that's the outcome. But there's always, it's a bit like renovating a house, you know, a flip. I'm going to flip the house and I estimate it's going to cost $100,000. You don't know whether there's going to be wiring, termite-related damage, you know, extra fees, extra labour costs. You just don't know. And really that was the Scorpion moon energy, the full moon. It was a direct purge, but it's almost like we have got so conditioned to believe that everything is going to go like clockwork, because we've been on this regimented cycle in this paradigm, that we have become so sensitive to the unknown that we actually lack the Fool card, so to speak, taking that leap of faith and knowing that we have got the tools in life to handle any aspects of adversity for the pickup effect. Financially speaking, I do feel as though things are going to be a change for the better, but you can't delay. Like if you've got a hunch and you've got to follow it, you need to follow your intuition. Your intuition is good, but in the areas where you've had the download and you haven't addressed it, you need to directly deal with it. What will help you with this is, it could be a person that you're directly connected to. It could be a past tense person that's going to help you with this energy, or even a past tense employer. Again, I am hearing network, and any area you feel guided to move towards. Partnerships are boding well if you're picking the right groups to mix with. I do feel financially you're also coming across as wanting to do things differently. But you've got to be passionate about what you're putting your money into, who you are to the core, and what these areas are, because that's really what the block is coming through for you guys at the moment. In your financial energy, just hoping everything's going to be fine will not work. I do feel, yes, we do have to help that. It's almost similar to a manifestation. Believe and receive. But at the same time, I feel a lot of it is a lack of belief in areas and just resting on laurels of situations that they're naturally going to take their course. They are, but universe does give us 3 warnings. And I've always said this. You get the first warning, which is the epiphany, gee, something needs to change, and that can be your download psychically, or it can be happening at a 3D. Then you get the aha moment, which is like, crap, that was a near miss. Then you get the it's too late. You get your tower moment. So if you're guided to do things, do all you can within your power, but don't rest on your laurels. You know, really follow your higher guidance. You guys have a supernatural gift. You're very much into your third eye and you're very strong with that, so utilize it where be. And I do feel you're assessing people around you at the moment as well. Now with this hope, you have number 17. By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Again, hoping that an old environment is going to change. You isn't solving the 3D related dynamics. Yes, obviously, if that's what you're feeling guided to do, at a financial level, at a partnership level, yes, do so, but always cover your tracks in a sense that you're being open to the infinite potential of change that can come out of nowhere. With this King of Cups energy, which is in the what's helping you area with your employment, with your finances rather. There is a maturing of this energy and a change. So I do feel if you change a dynamic, it's a number 5 card. Now, I've had to connect and correlate it with my psychic downloads of what I'm seeing in my third eye. The card breaks down to a 5, which denotes change. Babies are thinking and attracting before they are speaking. Now, it's in reverse. You know, a lot of this you have manifested. So your intentions, when they're in high vibration, you directly send out there, you're going to start receiving them, but they're old frequencies and old vibrations. Some of these hopes, wishes, and dreams that you manifested may not now correlate with what path you directly are on now. So it might be shifting you off one path and into another. But I do feel if you've been working on a business venture or been investing in something, I do feel there may be a return for some of you. Yeah, you're really tired of thinking about things. It could be now you're really unsure about your finances. And again, you're in your third eye. You're thinking about how to change that dynamic. You're also looking outside of yourself to the direct environment of what to invest in. Can be house, can be car, whatever energy you're physically putting your money into. Can even be your employment. And assessing how to get this much to that much and what steps you'd need to take. But this is going to be a change. I feel some of you might even jump jobs or change the way you are handling your cash component to bring balance into that sector. With your family, you want things to change. You feel like it's eat, pray, repeat. What is helping you is proceeding forward and knowing that some changes are coming. But I do feel, again, finances are an aspect that is actually holding you back a little bit at the moment. And I do feel it's because energetically you haven't had your anchoring in, because you're tuning into various scenarios of a way this could go with different subject matters with your life. So when you're with your family, it can be that it's just status quo, same thing. When it does come to it, just proceed forward. So if you're having an issue and you're thinking, gosh, I really hope this would resolve, and it really hasn't, you're reflecting on different ways that this connection should be, could be. But again, you've got the moon energy coming through with the Chariot, and it is big, big changes. So what is helping you is knowing that big changes are coming, especially with the nodes being in Cancer and the transit by mid-month. What will block you is if you're thinking that you're going to have plenty of time after this transformation happens. All the things you've manifested are going to come toppling in. So I do feel as though, you know, these quieter times, embrace them. they're only temporary. Although it might have felt like a very long time, it's the direct channel. So when you're channeling into, gee, this is always going to be the same forever, what does happen is we almost get to the release point, and that's when the manifestation comes. It's like, this is all the way it's going to be. We then release, it's then ushered in very quickly, so because we've detached, and then we'd really come to a place we thought nothing would change, and bang, it has. And that can even feel like a tower moment as well, because new energy's coming in, new changes are happening, and before you know it, you've got more on the plate than you thought you had. So I do feel this is really transforming in your family. There can be a shake-up. For those of you that have kin, they may be getting married. There can be a move of a house. But I feel there is a lot of chops and changes and revelations coming through. Yeah, you've gone past worrying about what's going on in a family-related dynamic. They might have been quite controlling to you, and I do feel, spiritually speaking, you feel energetically it's their lesson. Coming to a 7 is about your spirituality. Attempting to control others attracts more to be controlled. It's in reverse, so it's like you know there's certain things in a family-related dynamic that's got quite dull, because it's had the same frequency for a while. You're like, I can't control it, I'm proceeding forward. Okay, your love domain. So quiet. You're having courage, but at the same time, just tuning into it was like shh, dead silence. That silence is really the sound of your mind. You walked through the door energetically to move this, and you were on the cusp of it, and this is past tense energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You feel you're at your last chance point. Spiritually speaking, I do feel you've had a transfer. There's a lot of red, so a family related dynamic, a home related dynamic, what you believed about connections. It's like a ghost. It's just interesting. Each time I look at the same card, a new story comes through. It's like it was there, and then suddenly the energy changed. You've changed, but it's like the ghosts of our past are internal to us, and we're looking up, you know, to alchemize situations, but now that whole environment's changed and you're reflecting back on it, but it's quiet. So I don't feel agitated, sad, angry, mad. I just feel as though there's this energy of deep reflection. It's like almost the calm after the storm, but I feel the storm hit, change happened, you proceeded forward, and now you're reflective of, was that the right decision? Or what is this the last chance for this cycle in the connection? This is in the past tense position. Currently, I do feel a lot of you are really trying to move to keep things in a more balanced format and not a codependent frequency. You know how this is going to go, but at the same time, you're not tempted to do the same things. You're really, really ready for this change within this connection. So I do feel you're not creating the same cycle. I do feel as though with the wheel coming through, I wouldn't be surprised if October, by October there's a major change, but I do feel it's sooner. I'm just trying to get all the downloads as they're coming through. Yeah, I feel you want this changed because some of it is outside of your control. At the same time, you feel you've been moving around that wheel and there is a balance of karma coming through. It's in 4 different areas of your life. It can be with your money, your romance, you know, the past tense hurts, the communication factors. All of this is coming up and it's coming to a head. It's cycling out and changing. But I do feel as though you're like, these things need to change. You also know that in the past, the mental prison you were in and the feeling stuck in the connection, and this is really for both energies, it was a physical choice. Some of it you felt energetically, spiritually at that point, it was the way it had to be. But you are moving into this very mature frequency, okay? You're trying to be patient, you're assessing it, you're resisting temptation, and you're coming through to make a physical choice about what to do from here. I don't know why I'm feeling it's more on your side than theirs. And if you're feeling that energy is outside of you, yes, the energies can swap. But it's almost where we feel physically we don't have a choice, and we do. Even when we don't have a choice, it's a choice. Internally, you're wondering if somebody is lying to you or if you're lying to yourself. So there's a great deal of meditation when it does come to how you romantically feel. Yeah, you can really be in the hermit mode when it comes to what is making you feel spiritual about this connection. And you're looking through whether you're lying to yourself or whether they lied to you, but internally you're following your gut. The external energies around you, so there can be some discord which is causing you to jump into your head. There can be a masculine energy or a feminine energy external to you that is causing conflict. But I do feel in a partnership sense, both of you are seeing eye to eye with this energy being to that degree. Even if you're not seeing eye to eye with each other, you have the same belief systems of something needs to change. Externally, I feel you feel a bit out of sync at the moment with this connection. They're feeling as though they're temporarily delaying any sacrifices they're making in the 3D world. They're doing it for a reason. This is also helping them meditate. They're just thinking that everyone else gets along, so why can't the balance be there? Like they're thinking it's a normal day, but they're doing things that they feel are going to physically and spiritually move this connection forward. In their external environment, you know, it can be that the energies of people around them aren't as reliable, but they do care too much about what people think, and, you know, they're really allowing that to impact them. I do feel when it does come to their goals in the past, they were too focused on perhaps partnership energies, family energies, but they're very focused on their goals at the moment. They need to know that they are responsible for the way they think, and if they're trying to make you responsible, this is something, and I don't feel that energy coming through, but there is the potential. I do feel as though they're realising in an epiphany sense, something that transpired in the past they had control over, but they didn't handle it quite according to how they felt it should have been connected. And they're realising with this, in their own frequency, they did have control, and that they attracted some of these situations into their life. It's interesting. Those of you who are in a relationship, I don't know if you want to be, but I don't feel it's about the relationship. I feel it's about past tense energy. Relationship, I don't want. Clarify those I do want. There you go. It's like you look at the relationships you have, and it doesn't have to be with your partner. It doesn't have to be with your love interest. It's not just that. Compare the energies and see the frequency we're directly attracting. I feel you're weighing up the pros and cons, but we have the dark and the light inside of us all, and there's things we're directly attracted to that look polar opposite to how we are, but it directly brings balance. Again, I just feel that you've really run yourself down. You've got to be careful what you're thinking, though, at the moment, because your third eye is really strong. So at the negative frequency, anything you're fearing, you can directly manifest right now. So be super careful. Outcome for these individuals. Big changes. There will be a check-in during the month, providing I can get them all done. Yeah, you're feeling out of balance at the moment, okay? You got this card in reverse. You're feeling out of balance. You're feeling as though you're marking yourself with this connection and feeling you're unable to make a judgment. And potentially this could be past tense. You weren't feeling balanced. Everything happened for a reason. But where you stand right now, a belief is only a thought I keep thinking. Head and gut. Look at the two eyes. Head and gut. But look at it from an external point of view. This maturity and change that's coming. You're not focusing on what you actually do want in the relationship, so it's sort of sending mixed signals. Those of you in communication or connection with a person, they're a bit confused as to what you want, because I do feel you quite can't put your finger on it, because it's not one thing. Yeah, the subject matter could be occurring in it, but sometimes we tend to feel there needs to be a reason, and 9 times out of 10 it's just we've changed. So after a while of resolving that conflict, we gain the complete clarity, which it's we've changed. No reason, we just have changed. You don't even care about how, like, you've got this card in reverse. There are many right ways for us to behave. This is in reverse. Within a connection, it may be that you had a perspective or perception, and really at the moment we're moving through mass changes. So we might not be relating to each other in a normal way that we usually did. And it has been intensifying as the months have been proceeding. I'm sensing as though I'm seeing a conversation happen. And with this conversation, this individual is very confused. Now, this could have been a past tense conversation, but this individual feels very confused. And they're like, so what was it you wanted? They feel they're getting mixed signals. And that's why they've tried to tune out of it, because it's caused more conflict than good. I feel they're waiting for you to balance out emotionally. This could be vice versa, but for some I do feel it's if their communication has gone skew-if towards you, they're picking up on your vibration, okay? Getting all these messages coming through. I'm going to pull a few more clarifiers because I want to get to the heart of this. Don't want to leave you guys like that. And then you can check your romance read on the 7th. Might be open earlier. Okay, you're going to need courage to move forward. You've lost faith in a situation, but it's your vibration's down, you're tired, you're worn out, you've been dealing with a lot of subject matters, you've lost patience in the situation. At the heart of the matter, you're going through a mass transformation, okay? You don't want to go back to the old way of being, and you're resisting temptation. You're being in the frequency and you're not running. You're sitting in the frequency. It can feel disgusting. And it's giving you the courage to proceed forward on the clarity of what you want to do within this connection, be it you're in communication or not. Love and light. I'll check in during the month.